Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
Welcome to Kids Day on Fox Sports Midwest. I'm Peyton. This is my sister Harper Stice. Go Cardinals!
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and it's a day game as the Cardinals look for a sweep. Great to have the kids here at the ballpark. It's the Braves and Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. Game 2, and what a pitcher's duel it was. Carlos Martinez, 8 innings, 6 hits, picked up the win. On the other side, it was Shelby Miller, the tough luck loser. Gave up just 2 hits. The Cardinals picked up a Game 2 victory. Jim Hayes is here. That's the Matt Ungarian Albraboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. So from that youngster, Carlos Martinez, to another today, and that is Michael Wacha, all of 24 years of age and trying to pick up another win.
Trying to pick up win number 12. But you talk about the 2 youngsters, Martinez and Wacha. The team is 29-7 when they start games. And, of course, the Cardinals are winning 3 out of every 4 games here at Busch Stadium. So let's hope for another victory.
It's been an amazing run here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis in 2015. The Cardinals hoping that carries over today. Michael Wacha getting that start. It's baseball, and it comes your way next. Are proud to recognize today the 25-year anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, signed in 1990 by President George
4.
Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. This Cardinals train just keeps on chugging along with wins. They are now 63-34 as we welcome you inside Busch Stadium. The Cardinals have won 5 straight. Their lead in the Central is up to 7 games. The Atlanta Braves, Freddie Gonzalez, a look at his lineup this afternoon with Jace Peterson. Then Cameron Maybin leads their club in stolen bases with 16. Nick Markakis, Freddie Freeman back off the DL. Adonis Garcia, their third baseman. Slick fielding shortstop Andrelton Simmons. Yuri Perez in left. Ryan Lavarnway, the catcher. And Matt Whistler is the young pitcher, 22 years of age. And he is batting 9th in this Atlanta Braves lineup. So Peterson will lead it off. He comes from San Diego, and a lot of the players that the Braves have right now came over from San Diego. And the Upton deal, the Kimbrel deal, that includes Peterson. And the Cardinals turn to Michael Wacha, the 24-year-old making his 16th start this year.
Yeah, trying to win his 12th game. So he's 11-3, 3.20 ERA, and very good at home and during day games. Cardinals winning as a pitching staff, 233 average, best during the day.
Here's a 1-0 pitch, and that's a strike. Tony Cruz is his battery mate today. A loaded bench for the Cardinals. We'll give you the defense and the lineup of St. Louis momentarily. And a 1-1. Wacha's last 2 starts have been so-so, not great. Last one coming this past week on the road against the White Sox. That brief 2-game set, the Cardinals swept that series. The 1-2 pitch hit out of play. High Sox Sunday. And Wacha is a part of the gang with the High Sox look. Also Randall Grichuk in center. Colton Wong at second base. Fouled back. And it stays 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And I'm not sure if you remember a spring training game when we were working against Atlanta. And that's the first time we really saw Jace Peterson. He got a base hit, and then he went in the field and made 2 spectacular plays.
I do remember.
And we were quite impressed with him. And as you mentioned, he came over from San Diego. Atlanta Braves did make those big trades and got a lot of good players.
And a ground ball that's pulled foul past Stephen Piscotty, making his first ever start at first base in the major leagues. So we'll keep an eye on that today and how he develops in terms of his comfort level. Did play some at AAA and now getting that start here in the big leagues.
Remember, he was a third baseman. When he originally signed out of Stanford, he was a third baseman, so the infield's not that foreign to him. And the Cardinals had 3 top picks that were all third basemen in that draft, and so they made Piscotty a right fielder. And then, like you said, about 6 games at first base.
And a late call, a strikeout of Jace Peterson, and that's how we start the afternoon. Carlos Torres, the home plate umpire, punching out Peterson. And we take a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal with Michael Wacha.
And you can see an awful lot of going to be the 4-seam fastballs. He does throw sinkers, the cutter, the curveball, and the changeup. And here he just threads a needle down and in and gets the first strikeout.
Here's Cameron Maybin. Line to short. That's Pete Kozma on a hop, and he makes the play. 2 down. Look at the Cardinals defense with Kozma getting that start at shortstop. Carpenter is at third, Wong at second, Piscotty we mentioned at first, Cruz behind the plate. The outfield, the regulars of Holiday, Grichuk, and Hayward, and that's presented by Dobbs. Diamondbacks on the hand wrapped of Mark Reynolds, his left hand. He had the key sac fly yesterday, and obviously a big win for the Cardinals. Only 2 hits against Shelby Miller. Here's Nick Markakis, the right fielder for Atlanta.
I say the first 2 players and the starting pitcher for Atlanta today all came in that Kimbrel trade. Markakis signed a 4-year contract after spending quite a few years in the Baltimore organization.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Dealt with a bulging disc in his neck, and he has just 1 home run. He picked that up last week. Power has been an issue, and we've seen the throwing arm not nearly the level of a Jason Hayward in right field. Again, Cosma can't come up with it on that hard hit ball to short.
Cosman went to his left, looked like he was getting in position to get that ball, and then it took a tricky hop right as it gets to him. Comes up on him, and I'm sure he'll tell you he should have made that play.
It'll be his 3rd error this year. Doesn't play a lot, hasn't hit this year. You know he's feeling the pressure every time he's out there.
Yeah, and that's the one thing he knows, that he can play good solid defense. And you don't want to bring up Freddie Freeman with people on. Freddie just came off the disabled list yesterday. He had a wrist problem and missed quite a bit of time, had only 1 rehab game, and then they got rained out yesterday. He said, I want to play in the big leagues.
He actually called the Braves and said, I'm ready to go.
He was 2 for 4 the night before, hit a home run, and got rained out, and so started calling the Freddie Gonzalez, the general manager, their assistant, everybody, trainers, and eventually they let him come and showed up in the middle of about a couple innings into the game last night.
Michael Wacha along with Carlos Martinez, both with 11 wins this year. The leader in the National League is Garrett Cole of the Pirates with 13. 2 balls, 1 strike on Freddie Freeman. One thing we've seen, he is a legitimate power threat when you talk about Freddie Freeman and just how good he is.
And that was pretty good last night from young Carlos Martinez, 23 years of age, and showed how Freddie got tied up with that swing.
Shelby Miller on the other side, so good. 9th time already this season. He's received 0 runs of support. 9 games he started, he's had no runs in support.
And and he got off to a tremendous start, and was the time when Hayward was kind of struggling. People were looking at that trade and thinking it was lopsided. Well, now it's serving both teams.
3-2, and it's tapped foul. After the ball game yesterday, Miller, coming into Sunday's action around Major League Baseball, is 3rd in ERA, 2.27. Zach Greinke leads baseball at 1.30. Then Jacob deGrom, and 3rd, Shelby Miller.
Hasn't won since the middle of May, something like that too.
Tapped foul again. Martinez 8 innings, 6 hits last night. Miller 7 1/3, and gave up just 2 hits. And the Cardinals are making a habit of it, winning without much offense, but the pitching has been so good.
Pitching, starting, and relieving, best in baseball.
3-2 pitch, and it's a walk to Freeman. Went with the off-speed pitch. So after the error by Cosmo, walk to Freeman, and it brings in Garcia. Garcia hitting .250, no homers, no RBIs. Two outs and 2 on. Pitch number 23 of the inning is a breaking ball in the dirt. This is only the 6th start for Tony Cruz this year, as Molina has played just about every inning. And you wonder about the battery mates and the comfort level with Tony Cruz as opposed to Molina. And Tony's in every single meeting with the pitchers and the bullpen pitchers, going over the scouting reports. They know what they want to do with these hitters.
And it's also a young umpire. I don't think I remember Carlos Torres being on any Cruz this year.
The 2-0 pitch. Lifted into shallow left center. Cosma going out. Makes the catch. Tough play. Atones for the air. No damage done. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first.
Today is first Long, second Carpenter, third Holiday, fourth Hayward, fifth Grinchek, sixth Biscotti, seventh Cruz, eighth Cosma, and ninth Waka. Go Cardinals!
Nicely done. There's a look at your lineup, and now it's Matt Whistler making his 7th start of the year for the Atlanta Braves.
Young man that came over from San Diego in that trade we keep on talking about. He was the #1 pitching prospect in the Padres organization and come over here, and they really like what he has done. He's very aggressive. His very first start was against the Mets. He went 8 innings in that game and had no walks. So he's aggressive. He attacks the strike zone. He'll throw, 92, 93, and they say he has a very good slider.
Here's Colton Wong, who's hitting .270 this year. This homestand began with the Kansas City Royals. Cardinals held on late in that ball game. Did so again in game 1 of this series. Pulled it out late last night as Wong rips it into right field for a leadoff base hit. A look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Matt Whistler.
You see the 4-seam fastball, the sinker. Those are the 2 primary fastballs. Then he's got that slider, the change, and a curve. You say 4 pitches, but you can see he doesn't rely a whole lot on that changeup and curveball.
The Cardinals, Al, have hit .212 in those 3 games, and they're 3-0.
How about the fact, too, they had 3 different saves. Guys, 3 different relievers pick up the final out for saves. That's always good to see, too, for days when you don't have Rosenthal available.
And a ball to Matt Carpenter. He's 1 for 5 in this series.
Just think about the new Cardinal, Cishek, and also when we get Walden back, those guys, all had 30 saves before. So spread the wealth a little bit.
Boy, this bullpen on paper could be one of the best before it's all said and done. It's good already now. But you get Walden back, potential of Belisle in September. You've added Cishek, and you've taken a lot of pressure potentially off of Segrist, Rosenthal, and Manus.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's going to be somebody who's going to get sent down that is not deserving of that at all. But that's what happens when you're playing with the best team in baseball with the best record. And the amazing thing, we know all about the pitching staff, and relievers and starters have the best ERA in all of baseball. But there's really not a position player that's having a career year at all.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Taken for a ball low by Carpenter. 2 balls, no strikes. LaBarnway is your catcher today for the Atlanta Braves. Colton Wong with 11 stolen bases stands at first base. The 2-0 pitch to Carpenter. 2-1. Holiday is on deck. You saw Randy Choate out there waving in the Cardinals bullpen. First left-hander, 39 or older, to pick up a save since Darren Oliver back in 2012. Randy now with 48 appearances, 5th in the National League. The Cardinals have 3 in the top 5 in appearances. Manus, Segrist, both with 50 to lead the National League. So it does take some of the pressure off those 3.
And that's something I've been so concerned about all season long, the amount of appearances that the big 4 get. You don't worry about Randy because he's a situational guy that could pitch every day when you're only facing one guy predominantly.
The 2-1 pitch. Now 2-2.
Slater is only 22 years of age. He won't turn 23 until the middle of September. And in order to get the Atlanta Braves, or get San Diego to get Upton, B.J. Upton, or Melvin as he's known now, the Braves insisted that Whistler had to be involved in the deal.
2-2 is hit out of play. Seventh round selection by San Diego in 2011. He was 9-5 in AAA last year. And the deal that we're talking about is Craig Kimbrell and Melvin Upton Jr. And a lot of talk that the Padres are going to be big sellers this week and trying to dump some of the payroll that they picked up.
Their general manager was very aggressive in the offseason and kind of took the center stage in the during the winter meetings and everything. But now you look at those deals that they made, and they gave up so many of their prospects. Atlanta got Whistler. He was rated number 1. Max Fried was the 6th best. Chase Peterson, the second baseman here, was 10th.
And the problem is they're no better this year than they were a year ago in terms of their record.
Yeah, and then they got Smith and Peterson were 16 and 21st among their prospects. So Atlanta did a pretty good job in those 2 deals with San Diego. And like you said, San Diego, the Atlanta is almost kind of looking towards 2017 when they move into their new stadium, and the Padres thought they were going to make a move, and like you say, they're about the same in the standings.
Wong not running. The 2-2 is hit high in the air out to center field. Maben backing up to make the catch. Wong back to the bag at first, and there's one away. Take a look at the Braves defensively with Yuri Perez in left field, Cameron Maben in center, Nick Markakis your right field, Adonis Garcia at third base, Andrelton Simmons with just 3 years this year at short, Jace Peterson the second baseman, Freeman at first, LaVarnway is behind the plate. Presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
And we didn't even talk about Maben, who's in that deal, who you could say is comparable right now to Justin Upton. Kind of having a breakthrough year with Atlanta.
Holiday lines it to deep right. Markakis on the track and makes the catch. Here's Hayward batting .281. 9 home runs, 33 RBIs. I was talking with the Braves broadcasters, and they said it just wasn't fair for Jason Hayward. When he came up to the big leagues, he was literally compared to Hank Aaron by the fan base there. He said, you know, this is a guy that grew up in the area. Hank Aaron is living there. Obviously, the connection to the Braves and that franchise. I mean, think about that. And he was also considered, as a high school player, one of the best in the country. So people knew about him, and the comparisons were just running wild, and it was unfair to Hayward.
Well, he did it to himself, hitting a home run with his, first at bat, family in the stands, and the whole ball of wax, and so that's where the comparison started.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. Instead, a check on Wong. First major league at bat was against Carlos Zambrano. He hit a 3-run homer. Caught the ceremonial first pitch that day from Hank Aaron. Oh, 1 pitch hit the other way, and that's a fair ball off the sidewall. Wong digging for third, and Hayward trots in with a double. That's something the Braves did not see a year ago. Hayward going the opposite way. Here it was, Jason Hayward, as we flash back in his big league debut. Hammering Hank, who's at Cooperstown today, threw out the ceremonial first pitch to Hayward. And Jason, first time he digs in, bam, 3-run homer, and that place exploded. Picks up the double. Runners at second and third for Randal Grichuk, who's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball since the break. 2 outs and 2 on.
Among the baseball leaders post All-Star in home runs and RBIs for Grichuk. I said nobody's having a career year. Well, Grichuk is, but it's really his first year, so you can't really say, haven't determined what his career numbers will be yet.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Grichuk. He's 4 for 9 with a pair of home runs during this homestand. Both home runs have been 2-run shots. Maben, the center fielder, shading him a bit to the opposite way. Big gap in left center.
Just to give you a little idea how well Grichuk is playing right now. In about 115 at bats less than Jason Hayward, Grichuk has 2 more home runs, and he has 3 more RBIs. Remember, he missed 27 games when he was out with that lower back strain. So he's just really just hitting his stride right now.
The 1-2. Whistler, an ERA over 5 and 3 road starts. Called up back on June 19th. Really a pitch to contact type pitcher. Doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. A lot of hits allowed. Now 39 with 2 more here today.
But, and that's kind of odd for a young guy, 22 years of age, to really know how to pitch like that. But obviously, he got a pretty good idea how to not let them score. And he really, started at Double-A last year. He finished up at Triple-A in his last 11 starts. He was very good.
The 2-2. Grichuk, check swing, and he did go. And the Cardinals strand 2. First strikeout for Matt Whistler. No score after 1 inning of play. John Smoltz, who finished his career with the Cardinals, Pedro Martinez, and Craig Biggio. Quite the class.
You know, the interesting thing is the first three, Johnson, Smoltz, and Martinez, really made their fame with their second teams. You know, Randy Johnson was traded from Montreal. Smoltz was a youngster, a farmhand with the Tigers, traded to Atlanta, the Doyle Alexander deal. And Pedro Martinez, playing for the Dodgers, they said he was too small, couldn't be a starter, so they traded him to Montreal. And then Biggio played his entire career in Houston.
At one point, the Cardinals made a significant offer to try to get Craig Biggio.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Simmons, two-time Gold Glover, takes a breaking ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Talked with John Smoltz the other day. He was working a telecast and does some work for MLB Network and TBS and the Braves. There's a ground ball that's hit to second. He said the thing is, he said that class in his mind defines baseball because they're all different sizes of players. You know, you think about the size of anybody can play this game, you know. And now he joins his teammates, Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine. Bobby Cox used to let that trio play golf every day, even if they were pitching, and he encouraged it. He said he wanted his players to not think about the game 24/7, wanted them to get away from it. And Smoltz told me that it was the first time that those three got together to play golf together in 10 years. So congratulations to John Smoltz, who again finished up his career, picked up win number 213 of his Hall of Fame career in St. Louis.
Yeah. First only pitcher to have more than 200 wins and 150 saves.
At 213 in the wins department, 154 in the saves department. Here's Yuri Perez. Here's an 0-2 pitch. And the reason he was put in the bullpen is that he was coming back from Tommy John surgery. And Bobby Cox felt the best way to strengthen up his arm, and there was a need there too for the Braves, but he said go in the bullpen and throw all the time. So he became a lights out closer.
Yes.
Smoltz, by the way, the first to have Tommy John and be elected to Cooperstown. First man to have that and to be in Cooperstown.
Well, once again, you know, we call it Tommy John because he was the very first pitcher to ever have the surgery. And it was experimental surgery. Dr. Jobe, team physician for the Dodgers, performed, and because of that, they, you know, made all the utensils now necessary.
You can see Walker, the previous pitch, he was unnerved. You don't see reactions like that very often from Michael. He shrugged his shoulders as if to say, you got to be kidding me. That's not a strike. His second walk, and we turn to our Toyota keys to the game with Al.
Well, we're talking about Whistler. You know, he's 22 years of age. He's a very aggressive, and he likes that slider, so he'll be around that strike zone, so attack it. And then we kind of feed off of what Martinez just did. You know, the Cardinals starters have got a thing going right now. They've got 6 consecutive winning decisions. And, you know, you don't want to be the guy that stops that string. So just keep on feeding off, keep on going out there. But every day the Cardinal pitchers kind of know that they can't give up too much because the offense doesn't give them a lot. But starters and relievers have been just outstanding this year. So small, you know, so 1 or 2 run decisions all the time. You know, so they're always, everybody's under a lot of pressure.
Runner at first is Yuri Perez. No steals this year. Lavarnway, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Walker would love the double play. Gets the ground ball, but it's fair inside the third base line and down into the corner. Perez on his way to third. He'll be waved in. And the Braves have a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. So from what looked to be strike 3 on Perez turns into a walk, and that turns into a run.
Barway, he just pulls this one down. You can see how far off the line, but you really don't have a lot of books on it. Barnway only had this is his 21st at bat. Yuri Perez, he's only been out there for his 75th at bat.
That's hit out of play by Whistler.
A lot of these guys the Cardinals really don't know much about, don't have a lot of research on. But I was thinking back to what you said about Bobby Cox not wanting the players to concentrate on baseball. Boy, is that a far cry from today. I mean, they're force-fed. Every minute you got to think about the game.
Ground ball to a guy that thinks about it all the time, and that's Matt Carpenter.
And sometimes, we kind of think that you do have to have another life. It's foul ball there, but guys go to the ballpark so early.
We'll be on the road at the team hotel, and you're sitting there waiting for a cab or something, and Carpenter's getting ready to go to the ballpark. You'll see him looking at his reflection and making his batter stance. He's always thinking about it. It's just the way it's in his DNA. It's always been the way he's done it.
And you will see him at the hotel, coming out of going to work out at the gym before he even gets to the ballpark. And we're talking about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. These guys, the team bus, it should be the media bus, leaves 4 hours before a game, and they'll be lucky if there's 3 guys on it.
What time would you get to the ballpark? When do you play?
I would say probably 4:30.
Plenty of time, right?
Plenty of time. Well, we didn't have lunch rooms. There were no weight rooms. There were no video rooms. There were none of these things like that. You talked about Red and Stan. They'd be going to the ballpark at what, 5:30, 6 o'clock. They'd
Yes.
show up. There'd be a bucket of balls. They were lucky if they got 8 swings. And they didn't want any more than that. I think when you talk to just about every old player, particularly the position players, they think that today's players swing the bat way too much. You tire yourself out, and then you're starting to build muscle memory of bad swings because you're physically tired, just hitting.
Chris Duncan used to talk about that all the time. He'd get in bad habits because he just swung the bat way too much. 2-1 here on Jace Peterson. I thought it was enlightening the other night when Jim interviewed Randall Grichuk, and he said, I really don't like to watch video. I don't know if you saw that, but he said...
No, I was busy.
Oh, that's right. It was your bobblehead night. And he said, I'm not a video guy. It just doesn't do a lot for me. That's surprising to hear today's players say that. Not many do.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with what he's saying, but I think it's also that he's a young player and hasn't really been indoctrinated how to really look at that video. And that's what I question a lot of times. Do people just admire themselves, or do they really know what they're looking at?
Of concern, Waka behind in the count in 8 of the first 10 plate appearances for the Atlanta Braves. Complete your collection at Cardinals.com/theme. The Rick Horton bobblehead is coming up Tuesday night. Cardinals.com/theme. That'll be Tuesday night. Ricky's bobblehead, and I'll do with it as you see fit.
You were telling me something that I found quite disturbing. There's a young umpire, Carlos Torres. Derek Lilliquist go out there and talk a little bit.
Well, I tried to stop him, Al.
I can't. You told me he did what?
He destroyed your bobblehead. He pulled the head off it, and I said, "Don't you dare do it, Rick."
And this is the second time he's done this to me, huh?
Or maybe I encouraged him. I can't. One or the other. But anyway, it was destroyed. Here's Cameron Maben, who grounded out to short. 2 runners on.
Well, since Ricky's not working that day, we don't need him here, right? But we can forget about the bobblehead. Get the real thing.
You want to go after Ricky, the real thing?
Yeah.
Can be arranged. Believe me. Two outs, 2 on. Maben grounded sharply to short first time up. wonder if the Cardinals are getting a little concerned with Milwaukee. If 3 walks here in this ball game, wasn't sharp last time out. We've talked so much about his innings. He's currently at just over 114. His career high is 180 1/3. The Cardinals obviously need him down the stretch. They're going to look for ways to give him time off, maybe skip him a start here and there. As a matter of fact, the Cardinals will have Jaime Garcia start on Tuesday, so that gives everybody an extra day. But that's something to keep an eye on here in the final 60-plus games. How they manage the innings of Michael Walker to keep him fresh.
You know, and if I'm not mistaken, in that game he retired the first 9 in a row, and it was then all of a sudden he hit a wall and only could go 5 innings.
That pitch was up and a base hit out to left field. LaVarnway is racing in and he'll score. 2-0 Atlanta. Maybin with RBI number 47, and it comes on an 0-2 pitch.
Up and in, but still too much of the plate to where he could pull it.
And here's Markakis, who reached on an error by Kozma back in the first.
Markakis, you know, talked about the neck surgery he had, pair of herniated disc. He had played 393 straight error-free games in the outfield. He broke the Darren Lewis's record set back in 1990 and 1994, and then a few games later he had his historic mark stopped at 398. He made an error in the first inning.
Center field. Randall Grichuk under it, puts it away. Braves strand 2, they pick up 2. An early lead here at Busch Stadium for Freddie Gonzalez.
Danny, as you know, A.J. Pierzynski likes to stir it up a little bit. We know that from his time in St. Louis. When I asked A.J. about Shelby Miller's success this year, he told me, quote, he's great, and it took me and the Braves to make him an all-star. Now, later he said it was really the work that the Cardinals coaching staff put in with Shelby. A.J. told me not only that, but Shelby has taken that St. Louis way of teaching and shared it with some of the other Braves pitchers. Pierzynski says Shelby has really matured and has become a leader within that Atlanta staff. Danny says the only shame is they can't find a way to get him any runs.
So it's all about A.J. Pierzynski, isn't it?
Well, it's about you and A.J. Pierzynski.
All right, Jimmy. Thank you.
All right, Danny.
Find a family to interview.
on a serious note about AJ, Danny, and I know you will agree with this, we found him to be an absolute joy to be around. I mean, he was very helpful to us.
Scotty on the ground, backhanded by Simmons. One away.
And I think he just enjoyed his time so much here in St. Louis that, you know, he wanted to go out and play. And I don't think the Braves had any desire or any intentions to have him play as much as he has. He's done a good job for them.
It was this time last year that the Cardinals made the call to get Brzezinski because Molina got hurt. Brzezinski was there for Frank Thomas going in the Hall of Fame. He was in Cooperstown when he got the call. Loaded up the family, and then he met the Cardinals in Chicago. And a strike to Tony Cruz, batting .200 this year.
I'm sure he earned his reputation, but we didn't see any of that kind of personality. And I think his little stay in St. Louis kind of resurrected his career.
Well, you love to hate him, but you love him when he's on your team.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to look at it. But there's a few clubs that will still disagree with that too. Probably San Francisco.
No balls, 2 strikes on Tony Cruz.
And I think we all thought that and knew that Shelby was going to be an outstanding pitcher, but it seemed like we had enough or surplus of pitching that with the need to go out and replace Oscar Taveras' spot in right field, that you had to give up something of quality to get a guy like Jason Hayward.
1-2 is popped up. Third baseman Garcia in foul territory in the coach's box, makes the catch, and there's 2 down, and it brings in Pete Kozma.
See, the pitch right here is Tony Cruz, you mentioned, kind of a hanging breaking ball, just kind of underneath it a little bit, a little frisbee, but because it was just high enough, it became an effective pitch. A team like the Braves with so many young kids, you know, you really don't want to give them a lead because they'll play out of their heads and out of their minds right now. That the Cardinals, with their having trouble scoring, you know, this could be a tough test for them today.
Quite the bench for St. Louis today. Peralta sits. Kozma gets the start. You have Mark Reynolds, Yadier Molina, Peter Borges, and Dan Johnson.
And their bullpen isn't as tough as it used to be. You know, now Gruelly's hurt.
That's a big loss for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was doing an outstanding job, kind of resurrected himself. They got former closer Johnson down there that can do things, but they're 14th in the National League with relief pitching. And so just stay close and you can still catch them.
You can understand why they want to rebuild and move into their new stadium in 2017 with a completely different looking squad. However, Kimbrel, if you had a lead in the 8th or 9th, the game was over.
It's automatic.
The 2-1 pitch, and Kozma lines it into center field, and Maben broke in, had to go back and puts it away. A 1-2-3 inning for Whistler. We played 2 here at Busch Stadium. 2-0 Atlanta. Serves up real-time highlights, pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players, live or on demand on over 400 devices. Find out more, MLB.tv for details. Jim Hayes, Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin with you. Michael Wacha already with 3 walks in 2 innings, which ties his season high back on May 30th in a start against the Dodgers. And Michael will get Freeman, Garcia, and Simmons. Freddie walked back in the first inning, and a breaking ball is yanked foul. I was talking with some of the Cardinals before the game, and I asked them, I said, what's the difference right now with Carlos Martinez? What are you seeing with him that's given him this extra push as a starter, and now second in the league in wins with 11? I said it's his ability, and the shift was on there and a broken bat base hit, but the ability to make the big pitch. They've also talked about his maturity off the field for obvious reasons with the death of his friend Oscar Taveras, but also his ability to come up with the big pitch. He's able to do that now more so than he was in years past.
Well, I told you, when we had discussions, he's already exceeded anything I thought he could do as a starter. I just thought he was just too high energy, and that his pitch count would be up there so high that he could not go beyond 5 innings. But as you said, through the tragic death of his buddy Oscar, he's really grown up, and I think he has a great relationship with Mike Matheny. And I think Mike has had that ability to have some fatherly talks with him, or to get through to him and understand that you just have to be more efficient, try and calm down yourself a little bit. And I just think it's a great story, and give Mike and Derek Williquist a lot of credit. We all saw the electric arm, but they saw and thought that he could be a starter, and I think he's definitely proved it.
2-0 lead here for the Atlanta Braves as we play in the top of the third. 0-1 pitch. Seen a few of the changeups have been up in the zone. One was hammered for a base hit on an 0-2, and that breaking ball just spun up there.
I think you do have to get a little concerned. He's allowed 10 runs his last 2 starts prior to today. He got a no decision in one. He won the one, but 11 innings in those 2.
Al, if you go back to the previous start, he's thrown over 100 pitches his last 4 innings. Last 2 in Chicago, and these 2 here today.
And that's not Michael Wacha, so it's the one fear you have, that with these young pitchers, that pitch count. You did say, he had 180 as his career high, but that was between minor leagues and major leagues back in 2013.
Held on to by Cruz. And the 3rd strikeout for Michael Wacha.
Garcia's second game, and it looks like after he swings at a ball over his head, he asked the umpire, "Is that a strike?" Well, it was once you swung at it.
Here's Simmons. Grounded out to second base, first time up.
Mentioned that he won the Gold Glove a couple times, including took the Platinum Glove away from Yachty as the best of the Gold Glove winners one year.
One out, one on, 1 ball, no strikes. Alex Reyes made his Double-A debut last night. He is one of the top prospects of the Cardinals. He was to appear in the Futures game. Had a little soreness in his shoulder, so the Cardinals just precautionary shut him down. Well, made his Double-A debut last night. There's a liner into center field. Oh, Grichuk, nice play on the short hop to make sure that didn't go by him. What a great play that was.
He dives, he's laying on the ground and reaches up and snares that ball. But we've seen Randall Grichuk make some outstanding defensive plays, particularly that one series in New York. But there's an outstanding play. He's got great confidence. See, diving for it and catches that ball. It's not easy to do. And he's aggressive as an outfielder too.
Very much so. Here's Yuri Perez with 2 on.
I'm seeing guys that don't ever commit errors because they never get near a ball. You know, always laying back on balls, trying to make sure I will let it bounce once or twice so I'll get a nice easy hop. Well, when you play aggressive like that, you know, occasionally you'll make an error, but you make good plays.
0-1 pitch. Bouncer up the middle. Could be 2. It's a double play. We'll tell you more about the Double-A debut of Alex Reyes when we come back. Boys and girls clubs help young people reach their full potential. Find out more at foxsportsupports.com. Just to finish the thought on Alex Reyes, he's a right-hander. He's a real big kid, and we saw him pitch in a simulated game against Jaime Garcia in spring training, and he was electric. He hit 102 on the gun yesterday, 102, struck out the side in the first inning on 11 pitches, and by all accounts was just dominant in that start for Springfield. And now once you get to Double-A, you're basically a step away from the big leagues.
I've always thought that if you can really compete and be successful at Double-A, yeah, it's just further refinement, but that's the big gap. I used to think that was the biggest gap from A-ball to Double-A. Today it really has to be the major leagues, but when you can throw 102 and you got the arm that this kid has, you know, you're going to be all right.
0-2 the count on Michael Wacha, and the second strikeout for Matt Wisler. You could look at it that, you know, Reyes could take that road that Trevor Rosenthal took. Hard thrower, made the step to Double-A, and then the Cardinals made the jump from Double-A to the major leagues. You know, Michael Walker's in that same road, and Carlos Martinez. Reyes is right there with him. There's no doubt we're going to be hearing stuff about him all next spring training, all next year.
He's an interesting young man from the fact that he went to high school in New Jersey. But then he went back to the Dominican Republic where his family was from.
Established residency there.
Yeah.
Wong pops it up. The pitcher wants it and has it.
So that gives him, you know, I mean, English is not an issue.
Well, I've talked to him a lot.
Yeah.
There's no issues there whatsoever.
He was born in '94.
Well, it's a smart move. Think about it, because he could go down to the Dominican, establish residency there, to become an international free agent.
Yes, and you can negotiate with anybody, and also you know the likelihood that you're going to get more money too.
Bingo.
Having that power.
2 outs, and here's Matt Carpenter. Fly to center, first time up.
And that's what happens. Well, the Cuban defectors, they have to go to another country, you know, and they have to establish residency there, and then they can be, you know, go into the pool to be, you know, where they'll have a tryout camp and invite all the major league teams to come out and try and acquire his talents, and you avoid going through the draft.
Here's an 0-2 pitch to Carpenter. Popped foul and out of play. The Kansas City Royals have acquired officially now Johnny Cueto. Cueto, they thought they had him last night. Then there was a medical report on one of the players involved in the deal that did not satisfy both parties, so the trade was off. Cueto then pitched 8 innings. He showed up at the clubhouse in Cincinnati today, and now within the last half hour it's official. He's going to the Kansas City Royals for 3 left-handed pitchers. A first-round pick in 2014, Brandon Finnegan.
Ooh, we saw him last year.
John Lamb, 5th round in 2008, and Cody Reed, a 2nd rounder in 2013. Yeah, Finnegan was pretty darn good. Carpenter grounds out. He's 0 for 2. $56, 8 gallons or more. Now until September 24th, you'll receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. Lavarn Way, Whistler, and Peterson. By the way, the Cardinals have a huge announcement tomorrow over at Ballpark Village. U.S. Soccer, the Cardinals announced that the men's national team will play a World Cup qualifier at Busch Stadium this November. And you're invited to come down to Fox Sports Midwest Live in Ballpark Village tomorrow at 1. Some of the players will be there. And the Women's World Cup trophy will be there. And a chance to take your picture with that. Don't want to miss that. That's at 1 o'clock tomorrow on the big announcement concerning U.S. men's soccer and the World Cup at Ballpark Village. 0-2 quickly on Lavarn Way, who doubled down the third base line, picked up an RBI, and scored in the second inning. So now Cueto is off the board. What happens with Cole Hamels, and did his market just skyrocket after a no-hitter as Waka picks up the strikeout?
That's kind of funny, but there are a bunch of potential suitors that might have been very upset about that no-hitter and how many pitches he ended up throwing. It was, what, 129? There you see a strikeout at the top of the zone. It's number 4 for Waka.
The last starter that was traded after throwing a no-hitter, Bert Blyleven, Hall of Famer. Hamels is scheduled to go against the Braves later this week. 0-2 on Matt Whistler. It's now the 6th team that Joe Madden has been a part of managing that has been no hit. 6 times he's been on the other end.
I'm sure Joe would tell you, you know, as a player, Danny, he saw a lot of no hitters. His ability to swing.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. The fly ball lifted into right center. There's Randall Grichuk. Out number 2. Now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag MWDataStrongFan. Just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Waka has struck out 4. He's allowed 4 base hits and 2 runs. Jace Peterson has struck out and walked. There's a good changeup. 0-2.
Yeah, you get it down there, and you're really going to fool some hitters. We were talking about the trade that brought over and how active the San Diego Padres were last winter. They traded 11 of their top 30 prospects. 6 of them, or excuse me, 5 of them had gone to the Braves, plus Maben, you know, who was a couple years in the big leagues, but breakout year for him.
If you're the Padres, though, you do have a chance to replenish it. You've got Upton, you've got Shields, you've got potential Kimbrel. Cashner's a free agent after this year. Hit the other way, and there is Holiday. 1-2-3 inning. First of the afternoon for Michael Waka. See if the offense can't come alive. As Holiday will lead it off. Then Hayward and Grichuk. Cardinals down by 2 midway through 4. Just for you. That's right. With StubHub app, you can select your favorite teams, artists, and discover new ones too. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Jim Hayes, what do you have for us?
Well, Dan, John Mozeliak says Steve Cishek was the Cardinals' #1 trade target. Turns out the Cardinals were Cishek's #1 landing spot. He told me when the trade rumor started circulating, he asked his wife how great it would be if the Cardinals picked him up. He thought it was a long shot. Cishek says winning was a big attraction for him. He says not only this year but every year. He told me being familiar was another reason. He played with Randy Choate in Miami, and he got to know a lot of the Cardinal players during spring training as they share that complex in Jupiter. Also, Cishek says his family now lives in Jupiter, so he won't have to uproot anyone. Dan, the Cards are happy with the trade, and so is he, and obviously he'll play a big role in that bullpen.
Yeah, he'll fit right in, and as you mentioned, the players that we've spoken to have said that he's the Cardinals type of player, personality. They did their due diligence on knowing him a little bit as a person before they pulled the trigger on the deal. And in terms of baseball, he gives you a different look, Al, in that bullpen.
Absolutely. That is really key. You know, we think about what Pat Neshek did setting up Rosenthal last year. Well, that's a lot like the style, you know, almost a submarine sidearm style from Cishek, and he's so different and tough to hit.
And he also, as Holiday draws a walk, he can fill multiple roles out there as well.
Well, I just think of what it also speaks volumes on, too, that he got off to a bad start this year, and contractually he had enough time where he didn't have to go to the minor leagues. But he wanted to go down there and get himself straightened out. Went down to Double-A, threw about 5 games down there, started saying, okay, I got to get to the bottom of the strike zone. He did that, and since he got called back up to the big leagues, his ERA was 0.71. So I think the refresher course worked out.
He's nasty.
He really can be nasty, and you know, we're so used to seeing somebody throw over the top. Well, when you see it come from the side, and he can make it do a lot of things. Cardinal hitters will tell you they didn't like facing. So it's one of those deals where you sit there, never thought of him being on the radar, but it makes great sense, and I think it's going to work out well.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Jason Hayward. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's Sam Tuivailala, who also has made an impression. High leverage situations. We forget about him and the role that is starting to develop with Tuivailala.
And you know, here's a kid that just went from being a shortstop to a pitcher in 2012. So it's one of those things that if he were to go down or somebody else go down and continue their refresher course. So there he is. There's our newest Cardinal. Let's see, 6'6", too.
Big guy, throws from the side, tough on right-handers. Here's a 2-1 pitch and a double play ball. Out at second. No, it's dropped, and they'll get the lead man.
Yep. See, in the exchange. So, and they reached into his glove to extract it and really got it up to about his shoulder before he dropped it. So, Cardinals catch a break. He steps on the bag. You see he had it in his hand, so constitutes an out.
This has been the coming out party, so to speak, as you mentioned earlier, for Randal Grichuk here in 2015. He struck out on a check swing with 2 runners on back in the first. If there's an issue with Grichuk, it's just, and I'm sure it'll come with time, it's just they want to see more contact from him.
Well, and the fact, too, is with runners in scoring position, you know, the average is not there at all. You know, and for a guy that is a threat when he's in the batter's box, and we've seen that with home runs the last couple games. And he's got 11 home runs, and he's in the 280s. You know, 279 right now, started at 281. He's held his own, but there's little things that he could, you know, maybe relax more when you got guys in scoring position. Don't try and do too much. But he's only 23.
He has had 222 at-bats this year. He's drawn only 15 walks. That's another aspect to look at with Grichuk and maturity as he goes along at this level. Hayward a threat to steal with 15 this year. 0-1 pitch. Line into left center field and drops in for a base hit. Hayward stops at second.
I think we all love the potential of not only Hayward but Randall Grichuk. And there you see another breaking ball and another hanger. He hit it right off the end of the bat, so it didn't carry, but plugs the gap out in left center, and the Cardinals have something going with one out. Scotty got his first Major League RBI last night. Got a couple hits in Chicago when he was playing left field and Holiday was DHing.
1 out, 2 on. First pitch to Stephen Piscotty. I'll give you a name from the past. Geronimo Pena was the last Cardinal to pick up his first Major League RBI in a 1-0 game.
Wow.
Until Stephen Piscotty.
Well, the Cardinals have already won 2 games this year, 1-0. But they did it last night with just 2 hits.
And it's a base hit out to left. Hayward being brought in. Throw from Perez to the plate, and he is out at the plate. Strong throw by Perez. And Mike Matheny hops out of the dugout. They'll take a look at this. Was the tag there, or was the foot in before the tag?
He did a good job of blocking the plate. Now the question is, does he have the ball? But you see the left fielder is very shallow.
The Cardinals will challenge this. He may have snuck his foot in there. And by the way, if you're wondering, with the catcher having to move to make the catch on the throw up the line, if Hayward wanted to, he could have sent him into the front row.
Right. You could run right through him. Oh, that's what you see.
The left foot is in there. The
left foot looks like it might be in there as he let him, he's holding the glove, let him slide into it. But the left foot misses the glove. And it looked like it touched the plate. But you can understand why the initial call would be out. Everybody in the field's looking at the video replay board. Hayward just said, "I'm safe." There they show a close-up, and that's why the Cardinal fans reacting, thinking that the leg does get there ahead of the tag. Tag's the right foot, but the left foot is the one extended. You know, Dan, this is when we really need Jim Hayes and his ability to sing as we watch this game action of the replay process.
I'm good with watching the process.
You don't want to hear him sing?
I don't want to hear him sing.
Okay, I'll be honest too. He's horrible. Ethel Merman should sue him.
You know, he does imitate just about everybody, Jim Hayes, on our pregame shows before he goes on the air, and we have to listen to him sing. Well, right now, the Cardinals are waiting for this replay, and Hayward thinks he's in there safely. That left foot. Is there enough to overturn it? Did you see a look that said, yep, he's definitely in there? Was the left foot touching the plate?
Well, it appeared that, and this is just us seeing it with our biased eyes, that he put the tag down and let the right foot slide into the glove, but the left foot was the one that was extended right to the plate, slightly ahead of that.
I don't think there's a question as to whether or not the left foot is there. I think the question is, was the heel touching the plate?
Sure. Saw on the board there that apparently the Dodgers have notified Yasiel Puig that he will not be traded.
I believe that the Cardinals, if they wanted to, could also challenge the collision rule and the play at the plate.
Well, the throw took him a little bit to his left, but it looked like he was semi-blocking the plate before he had the ball. And that's another aspect of it too, right?
Correct. So I think they could challenge both. Say, one, we believe he was safe, and if you lose on that one, well, then we challenge on the collision rule. I don't think there's any doubt that the left foot was in there before the tag.
And I don't think there's any doubt that that heel was on the plate too. It looked like somewhat like his right leg of the catcher forced the heel down. But A-Rod had never hit a home run at Target Field, and then he hit 3 of them there last night. Taking too long.
Feel sorry for the guy that's got to carry the phones. It's pretty heavy. Hot day, just standing down there. Strong throw, by the way, from Perez on a hop to Lavarnway.
Now it looks like the pitcher wants to go sit in the dugout. Or he's getting a drink from the training staff. Now to get a decision. Say,
I'll be curious to hear, was the call overturned because of the collision rule or whether or not they felt he was safe? Could have been either way.
And Freddie Garcia now is going to ask the crew chief, Jerry Meals, the first base umpire, for an explanation. But that is one thing that we have, they said they're going to tweak this, but that is one thing we all would like to know is if they would make an official announcement to the public address to let everybody know, including us, you know, why was it overturned? Once again, we're guessing.
So we get word that it was no violation of the collision rule and that he was safe at home. So there you have it. And the RBI for Piscotty, his second RBI. He's 1 for 2 today. That brought in Jason Hayward. And Tony Cruz, a swing and a miss. And it makes it a 2-1 Atlanta lead.
Don't stop now. It's only 1 out.
What looms large, and it'll be overlooked here in this 4th inning, but Jace Peterson should have turned a double play, and that turns into a run.
You can't give good teams those extra outs. You know, we said we saw him in spring training, very impressed with him defensively.
Here's the 0-2 to Cruz. The Cardinals challenge took 5 minutes 8 seconds. That's from the time in which the umpires grabbed the headsets, I believe.
That was an inning and a half last night.
Pretty much. That game moved very quickly. 1-2 pitch, foul ball. Inside to Cruz.
Talking about Tony not having a lot of playing time. You got the most durable catcher in the league, but he's come up with 3 game-winning RBIs in his last 4 games with an RBI.
The 2-2 with the breaking ball again. Just got a piece. Whistler has struck out 2. 4 hits aside now in this game, and a 2-1 Atlanta lead. Two pitch again. Check swing. Did not go. Kozma is the runner, or rather the hitter on deck. The runners are Grichuk at second base. Piscotty, your runner at first.
See if Mike wants to be aggressive here and start the runners.
And it's a 3-2 pitch. There they go. Foul back and a good cut by Cruz. Zach Greinke, his scoreless inning streak snapped today at 45 2/3. So Oral Hershiser still with the record at 59 innings consecutive. He was closing in on Bob Gibson, who's at 47 consecutive scoreless innings at one point in his career.
Remember, Hershiser broke Don Drysdale's record. And when Drysdale was going for that record, Gibson was going for his scoreless streak at the same time.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. Will they run again? Both are back to the bag.
And people may not remember, but Drysdale's streak temporarily was halted at one time. He hit Dick Dietz. I think when the bases were loaded, he hit Dick Dietz and would have broken the streak, but they said that Dietz did not make an effort to get out of the way, so they reset the bases and he got him out. Went on to extend it.
Runners go. The 3-2 hit sharply to third, taken there by Garcia. That saves a run, maybe 2. You wonder if they don't start the runners, does he make that play? He was going towards third because of the action of Grichuk from second to third.
Good point. And you said we know he wouldn't have completed a double play, but by sending the runners, you get them both into second and third. Pete Kozma, very little playing time, but there's one thing in his career. He's hit .295, 46 for 156 with runners in scoring position, and they won't give him a chance to swing.
I'm not sure I agree with this move. More times than not, Al, you know me, I'm saying, hey, walk the 8th place hitter.
I want a recording of this.
And it's no disrespect to Pete Kozma, but Pete is hitting right now 151 and has 0 extra base hits this year.
You know, as a pitcher, you don't want to concede anything to anybody, and you got to believe you can get any hitter out at a key time. But Freddie's playing percentages. You know, you have a light hitting pitcher, or you have a light hitting extra man that, you know, has come up with some big hits in his career.
Cardinals in the DirecTV standings. Best record in baseball, trying to make it 30 games above 500 with a win today. 7 in front of Pittsburgh, 11.5 in front of Chicago.
Look at that record, 29 games over 500. They are playing .750 baseball. They're winning 3 out of every 4 home games.
The other factor with this, too, is that if you pitch to Kozma and you've got a young pitcher out there, you're trying to grind him through some of the innings on the road where he struggled. And we start out the 5th with Michael Wacha.
Yeah, I mean, we also talked about he's got good control, so some young pitchers, you don't want to load the bases. But this kid has pretty good control, but you know, the strategy, and I think the Cardinals already win a little bit because they get this, they get the pitcher spot over this inning. Start at the top of the inning if you get him out. If you don't get him out, then you're really upset.
Broken bat and a foul ball.
Just a little killer flare like that.
Did you record what I said? Because you may not hear it again.
I know, but I do have it recorded.
I can see both sides, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's, as a pitcher, I wouldn't like it, but as a manager, you know, it's kind of like Tony La Russa's old rule. Well, it allows me to sleep.
Right.
You know?
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Walker. Off the end of the bat, and a fly ball into right. Markakis puts it away. And the Cardinals strand the bases loaded, but they get on the board. Stephen Piscotty, his second RBI in the big leagues. It's 2-1. He's the crew chief, and he's hearing it from everybody right now between innings. Before it was Mike Matheny visiting with the crew chief. Now it's Terry Pendleton. And you just have to wonder if they're trying to get some kind of clarification on the replay and blocking the plate. And where's the umpire here in this particular spot?
Well, look,
he's blocked.
You know, he doesn't have the ball, and he's standing right there in the middle of the plate. So in Mike's mind, I think he's saying, I should have won on both sides. He's blocking the plate without the ball, and his foot touched home plate before the tag. But, you know, it's one of those things that I know Mike's not totally sold and on still a guesswork on that play, the collision play at the plate.
Here's Cameron Maben. Maben has singled and grounded out to short. 1 for 2 with an RBI. Singled on an 0-2 pitch and 2 outs back in the second inning. That made it 2-0. The check swing did go. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, you mentioned that Walker had his first 1-2-3 inning last inning. Hopefully he'll kind of settle in right now and be able to put up a few more zeros. He is at 76 pitches.
And an 0-2. That's the first pitch that Maben has not swung at against Michael Wacha in his 3 plate appearances. It's been really aggressive against Wacha. Taken high, 2-2.
A lot of pitches been up from Wacha. And we always marvel at his ability to throw at the bottom of the strike zone, utilize that 6'6" frame, and throwing on a downward hill.
Got him. A strikeout, number 5 today for Michael Wacha.
Change up there with a lot of movement. I thought he got into a pattern where he wasn't throwing enough changeups. You can see how much that ball just ran inside, and he committed.
Hardest pitch of the day for Michael Wacha has been 96. And when he was around last year, 95, 97, consistently, he won. Offset the changeup. Obviously, it's hard to hit a pitch coming at that velocity as well. Mixing in the breaking ball. And that's pulled foul. He's going with more off-speed pitches here the last couple of innings.
Well, early in the game, he didn't have a curveball. And there you see the speed differential, 96 to 73, a curveball. He started off a curveball in this at bat, and it was one of his better ones.
0-2 pitch to Nick Markakis. Slapped the other way and fouled. Warm afternoon. Get in line for the Dippin' Dots here at Busch Stadium. Mentioned tomorrow, 1 o'clock, the big soccer announcement. You're invited to be there at Ballpark Village. World Cup trophy will be there. Take a picture with that as Markakis hits it out of play. Men's qualifiers coming to Busch Stadium in November, it looks like. All the details open to the public at 1 tomorrow. 0-2 pitch. Popped up, foul territory. Carpenter, 2 down. BJC Healthcare difference maker, as Al mentioned. The Cardinals at ERA first, with starters first in the bullpen. And it's a historic run. BJC Healthcare difference maker since '69. The Cardinals 2.64 team ERA.
In 1972, how tough those clubs were. Was it 3 of the 5 in the 7-2?
There's Freddie Freeman.
Also, we have a 2.33 daytime, ERA for the staff.
Freeman has walked and singled, beat the shift back in the 3rd. Freddie signed a long-term deal, over $100 million, to stay with the Atlanta Braves a couple of years ago. They figured out his vision issues. He used to get dry eyes and had all kinds of issues with his vision. And imagine trying to hit a ball at this level, and then imagine trying to do it when you can't really see.
It's got to be a scary thought.
They couldn't figure out what the issue was with him. 1-2 pitch. Goes the other way. And lines it to Carpenter against the shift. And Carpenter puts it away. Wacha is starting to settle in. Midway through 5, it's 2-1. Catchers, most innings caught: Brzezinski, Molina, the former Bray McCann, and then Russell Martin.
Yachty just passed Tim McCarver for 25th place. And Brzezinski, I believe, is 10th all time in catching innings. Take a lot of the beating back there. And
here's Wong, and that's a base hit into right field. Marquez is playing very deep into right. Wong thinking too, and why not? On his way to second, and it's a double. It has not been a good defensive series for Nick Markakis at all.
Well, I mentioned that he made his first error earlier this year, and that broke a historic streak. 398 games in the outfield without an error. And you mentioned how he's playing so deep, kind of casual getting over there, and didn't waste a lot of time. Gets the ball back in there. He doesn't throw anywhere like he used to, and that could be, and I could attest to it. Saw Colton. He shifts to the infield side, going to the bag, and never loses contact, and that's what keeps him safe.
And going to check on him to make sure he's all right.
You know, he might have altered. You know, you're running towards, and then he kind of made a little alteration in his approach, and that's where he kind of might have put a little strain on the groin.
Watching Markakis throw twice on Friday night, I thought Wong out of the box may take second base. I mean, that's just paying attention to what's going on. He's playing deep, and also the way he's throwing. He's just not throwing the way that we've seen in the past.
And you know what? That could be some advanced scouting too, where they pick up that and say, hey, if you're in a situation, you know, if that ball's not directly at him, you know, you can try to take that extra base. And Colton says he's fine.
His voice may be a little higher pitched.
Yeah, I mean, he might have altered something when he slid. Let Jim get to the bottom of that.
.362 with runners in scoring position, but we saw the other night Carpenter bunting in a spot just like this.
You know, Dan, you talk about that, and sometimes, you know, you think, you know, he was given the option, hey, drive him in or do what you think you do, but you got to get him over. But by doing that earlier in this series, all of a sudden now you see the third baseman come in. The shortstop is shadowing Wong, trying to shorten up his lead. So by doing it one time, you create some hitting holes.
Hit to the left side. Wong aggressive. He's at third. Carpenter is out at first, and a nice pick by Freddie Freeman. Love the aggressive base running of Colt Wong.
Well, you know, the rule is the ball hit in front of you, you do not advance. But he knew that was so slowly hit that he could get in front of that ball and get himself over. See, he passed the shortstop, and it took a very nice play, bang, bang play. And Freddie Freeman, he is an outstanding first baseman over there. And took all that big frame to get that stretch, get him out.
Infield drawn in now for Holiday, who is lined out to right and walked back in the fourth.
It truly was a productive out. Getting him over to third with just one out here.
Wong's legs could be the difference with the Cardinals' second run today.
He told Mike Matheny he was fine, and he showed it going to third. Holiday, almost 400 runners in scoring position.
One out runner at third, infield in. First pitch to Holiday. Here it comes. Inside. Just his presence in the lineup has just given the club a different look, a different feel since he's come back.
Yeah, I mean, he really hasn't hit his stride yet, but missed 31 games. Cardinals were 18-13 during that time, but boy, they want their big guy back, and he usually has a very strong second half.
Carried the club last year in the second half, had a tremendous first half this year before the injury. 2 balls, no strikes.
Matt hits a lot of balls up the middle, and he just powers through.
That one, though, the opposite way. Inside the first baseline, down into the corner. And Holiday, with the way that he's running, he'll just stop at second base. And he's tied it up. It's 2-2.
31st RBI. Well, he didn't hit it where we thought he did, but he did it even better because he hit it where they weren't. And then Markakis allowed that ball to get by him and goes all the way around the corner towards the bullpen. The Cardinal bullpen in right center. It's just hugging right down the line, but it doesn't hit that side wall, and then it circled all the way around. That's the first time I've seen a ball do that.
Just a rocket off the bat of Holiday. Now it's Hayward. You wonder if Holiday could even score on a base hit the way that he's running. Little chopper, and Whistler makes the play, and underhands to Freeman. Holiday trotting to third. What's on tap? The Reds will be here, minus Johnny Cueto. We'll have those games for you on Fox Sports Midwest. Our Budweiser What's on Tap, Iglesias and Lynn, tomorrow at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Midwest. Our Budweiser What's on Tap.
Cole picked up his 14th victory, 14-4, as he defeats Washington 3-1.
Whistler, by the way, after making that play, something's not right with him. Now he's finally set. But take a look at this first pitch or two of this at bat and see if something happened with him, as he had to jump high for that ball.
Sometimes you do that and you pull something in your back.
Simmons to his left, and he makes the play. Cardinals, though, tie it up on a double from Holiday. RBI number 31, 2-2 as we head to the sixth. $25,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a one-of-a-kind Lou Brock bobblehead courtesy of Lindenwood University. The bobblehead features Brock changing out of a Cubs jersey, revealing a Cardinals uniform underneath. Really unique, and it's available for you this Friday. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Matt Holliday's 300th career RBI here at Busch Stadium. Trails only Albert Pujols in RBIs at the 10-year-old ballpark.
Matt's also, he had over 500 hits with Colorado, and he's trying to get. He's 8 hits away from 500 with the Cardinals. He would become the only active player with 500 or more hits in multiple ballparks, just 14th to do it in the past 50 years.
The fly ball out to deep right field. Hayward back at the wall, leaps, and it's gone. Just over the wall. Garcia, a home run to make it 3-2 Atlanta. Boy, Hayward was there, just missed it.
Garcia, his first home run this year, first RBI. Just playing in his second game since been called up this time. And you see the effort by Hayward. Much a line drive, so he didn't have time to get back and maybe jump up. Straight up, you see where he's like halfway in the warning track.
He goes back one more
step, yeah.
Here's Pete Cosmo. One down. That retires Simmons, and it brings in Perez.
10th home run allowed by Walker, and see where he kind of jumped about midway and didn't have the ability. If he could have gotten another step back there, kind of set and really gave it a great vertical leap, he would have caught that ball easily. Nothing wrong with his effort. That's all he could do on the line drive.
Perez has walked and scored and hit into a double play. Walker, despite the home run, has looked better here the last couple of innings from his start. First 2 innings, 51 pitches, 37 in his last 3. One ball, one strike. Mike Trout with his 30th home run of the season for the Angels. What a player. You don't see it very often with the Atlanta Braves. Since 1995, they just don't hit many home runs. Lowest percentage of runs via the home run. San Francisco, then Atlanta. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Pittsburgh, the 3-1 winner. Garrett Cole picks up the win. First 14-game winner in the National League. 7 2/3, 6 hits, struck out 8. Chicago, it's surprising, but they're starting to fall off the pack here. When you think about the wild card and where they're at, they're trailing in the top of the 6th, 8-2 to the Phillies. There's Hayward. 2 down. You can join us for Academy Sports and Outdoors Autograph Nights, the 4th of 6 autograph nights. Coming up July 31st, 2 current Cardinals will sign autographs in the Ford Plaza for fans 15 and under. 2 former Cardinals will sign for fans of all ages. Visit cardinals.com/promotions. Ryan Lavarnway, 1 for 2 with a double, the strikeout, run scored, and an RBI. Here's a 1-0. And a ground ball hit to the right side. Piscotty or somebody needs to get to the bag, and it's Walker. Thought about going after that ball and was caught in no man's land. Walker, though, picked him up. AT&T U-verse rewind and a look at Kolten Wong in a busy inning. Turned a routine single here into a double with his speed. Then the ground ball advanced to third. And then the RBI by Holiday to bring in Kolten Wong. That's the AT&T U-verse rewind.
And once again, Mike Matheny is happy to have Holiday back, but knows that that leg is not 100%, so under strict orders not to be running hard all the time or ever until that thing fully heals.
Scotty, ground ball to short. There's Simmons off his glove and no play.
Be a second hit. First multi-hit game should be Simmons. When he doesn't execute a play, and see if he hasn't hurt himself.
It is a hit, and Piscotty is 2 for 3. Steven can run a little bit. You wonder if they try to get Cruz going with a hit and run, potentially. He's popped out in foul territory, and he's also grounded to third.
2 gold gloves for Simmons, including a platinum glove. So when the ball gets that and he can't make the play, you know it's a base hit.
Piscotty, your runner at first base. First pitch to Cruz. Breaking ball, and he's seen a steady diet of those. The Braves have 3 lefties in their pen. Avalon is in the top 5 of appearances in the National League, and one of those lefties is getting loose as we speak.
Valhalla warming up for the Cardinals. Get down to Walker's spot.
McKirahan, Andrew McKirahan getting loose for the Atlanta Braves. A 1 pitch to Tony Cruz. The long look. Now 0-2.
Tony can't take something to right field.
And again, Markakis is too deep in right. They shade him to right. Big gap in left center.
Now, I'm not saying it's the case, but you know, when you had a record 398 errorless games, sometimes you play deep like that, you don't have that chance to make any tough plays.
1-2, fouled back. Another crowd today, well over 40,000 on this Sunday afternoon here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals are trying to make it 6 in a row, and a win today would take them to 30 games above 500. Here's a 1-2. Hit out of play. Including today, there are 65 games remaining of the schedule. If the Cardinals win 32, so just go 1 game under 500 the rest of the way, they still will finish with 95 wins.
One of the other things too, Dan, is just look how dominant the Cardinals are in the Central Division.
With 12 over against the Central. Here at home, 36-12. And that late call and strikeout of Cruz.
If you look at the Central Division, only the Cardinals are over 500, and the Cubs would be 1 under.
Saturday, August 1st, 12,000 kids 15 and under entering with a ticket receive their very own limited edition mini Build-A-Bear workshop. And that bear is featuring a Saturday alternate jersey. And make sure you get here early. It's photo day at the ballpark, and that is August 1st. Third strikeout for Matt Whistler. There's Pete Kozma, who is lined out to center field and intentionally walked back in the fourth to get to Walkup.
Pirates are 7 games under 500 when playing in the Central Division.
I find that shocking.
Cardinals 25 and 13 in the Central. Pretty hard to win the division if you don't win the head-to-head matchups.
Kozma trying to bunt his way on and hits into a double play. Sends us to the 7th, 3-2 Atlanta.
Still the pitcher record on the good side, just 2 earned runs. Garcia broke a 2-2 tie with a solo home run. Waka is through for the day. He goes 6 innings, 5 hits allowed, and he'll do part of a double switch. Golden 2 for 3. Borges is down center field, and Tuivalala is the new pitcher. Alala converted from shortstop to pitching back in 2012. And Chevy called to the bullpen, bringing in Tuivalala, his 10th appearance, ERA under 2. See, really haven't extended him out there, but he can throw very hard. But really the difference right now is he's come up with a little cutter, give him a little movement. And I think he also has come back up here with a lot more confidence. He was the closer at Memphis the last time. He was 12 for 12 in save opportunities, ERA under 2 there. But he's becoming a difference maker at this level.
And we're underway here in the 7th. Matt Whistler. Looking ahead, by the way, to the 2016 Hall of Fame potential candidates. Ken Griffey Jr., you would think, is a lock. Jim Edmonds, outside chance. Billy Wagner, Trevor Hoffman. Some of the names to think about for next year. The 2-1 is, rather 2-0 is now 2-1. Three and 1. This day and age of the highlight and highlight shows, Fox Sports 1, ESPN, Jim Edmonds led many of those shows with some of the great plays that he made. And there's a walk to the pitcher, Whistler. Now what you want to do I just wonder if more people will take a harder look at Edmonds because of that, because of some of the dramatic plays that he made and spectacular plays that he made over the years. Hold that thought. The Kia in the driver's seat. Yep, pitching's been really good. That's brought to you by Kia. So when you think about Edmonds, do you think about that a little bit?
I think we think about it, but I'm not sure the writers would. And they're the ones that count. They have to be, when you think about what the Cardinal Nation thinks about him, he was part of the first class going into the Cardinal Hall of Fame, so that speaks very highly. They must know somebody at the stadium. They're all waving.
That's where we'll make the soccer announcement tomorrow at 1, open to the public. One ball, 2 strikes. You'd have to say that Mike Matheny at some point would love to get Cishek into a game as quickly as possible, and Cishek is probably dying to get into a game.
Absolutely. Got Randy Schote warming up.
And a high fly ball out to deep right field. Hayward back with the room and makes the catch. Peterson gave it a ride. One away. Brings in Cameron Maben, the center fielder for the Atlanta Braves.
Little cutter right there, a little breaking ball, and gave it a ride, but stays in the ballpark.
Braves have received 4 walks today. 1 came around to score. That was Perez back in the second. Michael Wacha, 6 innings here today.
It was good to see him, though. He finished stronger. It was kind of a iffy 3 first innings.
Cardinals have turned a double play that was back in the third off the bat of Yuri Perez. Blaze Hillsley out there charting all the pitches. The pitching coach. There's a fastball and a strike at 97. Blaze wearing number 49.
And Blaze has done an outstanding job with those relievers. Cardinals very lucky to have 2 outstanding pitching coaches, and they have good communicative skills. I don't give Blaze enough credit. I don't give the whole coaching staff how well they all work. Derek Lilliquist.
Tough to turn to, can they? No. As Cosma does not get the lead man. Does get Maben, and the pitcher running is at second base.
May not be the worst thing.
Yeah.
It's not the hottest of days, but still, you keep him out there. And
I think Whistler was ready to peel off. Oh yeah, he was ready to. Whoops! Got to get back to the bag. Only issue with that, Al, is you leave a man in scoring position, and that's the one thing you get concerned about. Is Markakis, who hits from the left side, will face Randy Choate. This will be our Chevy called to the pen. 39-year-old Randy Choate coming on when we come back. The score here at Busch Stadium is 3-2, top of the 7th. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Al, but is Randy Choate is now our Chevy called to the pen. My assumption was that it was a double switch, that in Grichuk's spot would go the pitcher, in the pitcher's spot would go Peter Borges. According to the board here at the ballpark, it's just straight switches.
And I saw it earlier where they did make it look like it was a double switch because Tuivailala was in the where Borges is now. So either they scored has got it wrong, or they assumed that Micah did a double switch and then found it was straight up. So we'll find out next inning whether Borges hits or will it be a pinch hitter for Choate.
But then
But
if
they
it is
changed
straight
the
up,
scoreboard.
it makes you concerned that there's an issue then potentially with Randall Grichuk.
Then if it's straight up, because this spot they were going to pinch hit for whoever was pitching, more than likely. Particularly now that it showed, but of course he could get Freeman too.
Hit the other way. Cosma keeps it on the infield. Can he make it an out? No. As Piscotty spins, trying to apply the tag, and that play by Cosma saves a run from scoring. Runners at first and third. Infield hit for Markakis. He's on base for the second time.
See the pitch, the little slider doesn't get far enough away. Takes it to the opposite field, stayed up a little bit, and like you said, the good shortstop. So we're going to get rid of Freeman here, but Freeman is one of the toughest in the game with runners in scoring position. Leads the majors with a .418 batting average, runners in scoring position.
So runners at first and third, 2 outs. And swung on and missed by Freeman.
Randy picked up his first save last night since 2012, and sinker slider, that's what you're going to get. Usually the sinker down and in, and the slider away.
0-1, there's your slider. You get concerned then if there's something wrong with Grichuk. Now, I didn't see anything earlier in the game that would have led me to believe that, but.
And I noticed that last out he made, he really hustled down the line. And so, I mean, whether he did something there at the bag.
0-2, Freeman doesn't chase.
The suspense will be over. The bottom of this inning. But I saw that they initially put in Tuivailala, in the Grichuk's original spot.
And a ground ball that'll be taken on the dirt of the infield. Walk coming in, the Braves strand 2. It's time to stretch on this Sunday afternoon. Good work by Randy Choate. 3-2 Atlanta. confusion here at the ballpark with this lineup. We'll get to that in a moment, because we got to tell you that the Gateway Honda home run inning, Cardinals hit a home run, they'll make a $1,000 donation to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. There's confusion, I'm telling you right now, with this lineup. It was just announced that Peter Borges is going to hit. And so Dan Johnson is at the on-deck circle. Mike did not double switch them, which was the assumption. And so Johnson will hit. And it was just Borges for Grichuk straight up in the 5th spot in the lineup.
And we'll just see if, like you kind of speculated, where something happened to Grichuk and that necessitated the taking Grichuk out. He did not go to left like we normally would see, and Holiday come out.
And that's what makes me think something's up.
Yes.
But a bit surprising there was no double switch, just a straight switch. So Johnson will pinch hit here. And on the 0-1, lifts a fly ball out to left, and Perez will make the catch.
And we're going to see Cishek. He will pitch the top of the 8th inning. Right off the end of the bat. Westbrook, 22 years of age, just keeps on pitching.
The funky delivery of Steve Cishek. Breaking ball and a strike to Colton Wong, who scored back in the 5th, tied it up at 2-2. That tie game was short-lived. In the 6th, Garcia with an opposite field home run. It's 3-2. Wong pops it up. Catcher LaBarnway wants it and has it for out number 2. Here's our T-Mobile photo of the game. With 2 outs, it brings in Matt Carpenter, who's hitless today. He's fly to center, grounded out to first, and also grounded out to short. Whistler at 89 pitches. They're 5 spots away from him in the lineup. Who knows? You may see him pitch the 8th as well.
Like I said, his major league debut, he went 8 innings. Didn't walk a man in that game. And his pitch to contact is keeping him in this game this late.
2-1 the count on Matt Carpenter.
Strikeouts are great, but you know, you just there's certain times where they're more meaningful. Talked about the Cardinals going to have to come from behind, and we also talked about their Braves bullpen is 14th in the 15 league National League, 15 team. Knocked the starter out, though.
A 2-out walk, and that's the last thing he wanted to do. Now he's got to face Matt Holliday.
3rd walk, 1 was intentional.
Holliday doubled inside the first base line. Picked up RBI number 31 back in the 5th. Walked in the 4th, lined out to right.
Probably his last batter. With Hayward on deck, got a lefty warming up and a righty now. Just joined him. Frazier joined the lefty.
This may tell you about the confidence that Freddie Gonzalez may or may not have in his bullpen to stick with a rookie, 22 years of age, game on the line with Holliday at the plate, and not going to the pen.
I think it is. And I think it's also you want to send a message. Don't be looking over your shoulder. You know, show us that you can go deep into a ball game, and even when it's late and you're tiring, that you still have enough to get out top hitters.
2 outs, no balls, and a strike on Holiday. Big gap in left center. The check swing, and he went. 0-2.
A big gap in left center, but a big gap down the left field line.
Corner outfielders very, very deep. Short lead at first by Carpenter. Here's the 0-2. Trying to sneak the fastball by him.
Not a very good low ball hitter.
The 1-2 pitch. It stays 1-2.
Slider there, and with the Padre organization ready to have the best slider in the organization, but it's been a frisbee a lot. It's gotten away with getting on the side of that pitch.
Here's a 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Season high in pitches, 98 for Whistler. He has matched that. The 2-2 to Holiday. 27th sold out crowd here at Busch Stadium. Here in this 2015 season, our crowd of 44,780. 44780. That last pitch, he may have gotten away with it, and he knows it. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Holiday. Popped up. Freeman, foul territory, playable. The threat is through. We head to the 8th. The Atlanta Braves on top by a run. It's 3-2 here from Busch Stadium. Marito Sports Update. Cardinal debut of Steve Cishek. A Chevy called to the pen. You'll see here that funky delivery that he has. From Falmouth, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. He is the first player from Carson Newman University in Tennessee to reach the majors since pitcher Clyde Wright back in 1966. And now here he is pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Been the closer for Miami for the last couple of years at 39 saves last year, at 34 the year before. That's our Hyundai called the bullpen. Sinker, slider, that's really what you got to know, but he throws from down south, down Laredo, real side armor. Got out to a horrible start. His first appearance, he third of an inning, allowed 4 earned runs, and then is trying to catch up. He lost his job as a closer this year with Miami. As we said, he agreed to go down the minor leagues to get his act together, and he did so. He's come back his last 7 appearances, 7 innings, just 4 hits allowed. And the last couple weeks, he's allowed just 1 earned run since June the 1st for a 0.71 ERA. So this is a guy that really probably can help us quite a bit. Take a little pressure off the guys that are getting used extensively.
Here's Garcia at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cishek, by the way, deeply religious, and you may have noticed that when he circled the mound right before he made his first official pitch, he actually, this is part of his routine. Here's the 1-2. He will pull out a scripture card that he keeps in his back pocket. He reads that every single time. Different scripture every time that he likes to read, and that's one way that he gets ready. Popped up into shallow right. There's Hayward. 1 away.
That's kind of a typical at bat against a guy way off balance, reaching for a ball, and just, you know, you don't see a release point like this, and so it's going to be a much different look coming out of the Cardinal bullpen, which will help the guy ahead of him or the guy right after him, because they start kind of zeroing in on that, and then they get somebody over the top, a hard thrower.
Cost control, too. We mentioned that.
A couple more years, right?
Exactly. He could be in the Cardinal uniform for 2 more years after this year, and maybe even beyond. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Andrelton Simmons, taken for a ball.
He's 28 years of age. Originally was a 5th round selection back in 2007 by Miami. So you think about it, he could be the 7th inning guy, and then you've got your Segrist, Manus, Walden, who's joined us probably in a week to 10 days. 8th inning guy, but all 3 of them could.
2-1 is a base hit into center, and a pitch that was up.
Guys with closing experiences, days that Rosenthal needs a rest. You got 3 or 4 choices of veterans that you could put in there.
Brings in Yuri Perez. Walked and scored in the 2nd. Grounded into a double play in the 3rd and flied out to right.
And when he was having his problems in Miami earlier in the year, he's got the ball up. And that's the one thing he went down and really concentrated on keeping the ball down around the knees, and that's when he has his success.
And now they throw it away. Simmons to 2nd, on his way to 3rd, and stops there. Good play by Wong to keep Simmons at 2nd base.
See how he went after that ball and slid. There you see first the errant throw, no chance for Scotty, but watch Wong go out there and on the grass he slid, and we'll see it from a different angle, and slid to stop his momentum and scramble up and get that throw off to 3rd. He would have been out if he would have kept on going. Here's what I'm talking about. Look at that.
Good player.
That was quick.
I mean, just little things that he's done in this game today. One out runner at second. And a pitch taken for a ball. Be a feeling out process too for Cishek here in St. Louis and vice versa, trying to figure him out.
And I don't care how many times you pitch, but you have a trade, you come to a new club, you want to prove your worth, and all of a sudden you just do little things that maybe too amped up, and when you do that, ball straightens out, ball doesn't go where you want it. Anybody with a foot fetish, there's what his shoes look like.
You want to say that again, Al?
Our esteemed award-winning director Tom Mee said, "Here's his feet." So anybody who has a foot fetish, there's his feet. Inside the shoe. Which I don't know what brand that is.
Here's a 1-2. Now 2-2. Two-two pitch, low and outside. Mets win in a walk-off in 10 innings, 3-2. DeGrom 7 2/3. Greinke 7 innings as his scoreless inning streak was snapped. And it was Juan Uribe, just picked up by the Mets, who singled to center to score Curtis Granderson with the winner for New York, the former the Atlanta Brave.
An idea what it looks like close up of this delivery.
Little chopper towards short, taken there by Cosmo. Fox Sports Midwest, and the mission continues with our Summer Service Slam. Team up with veterans at the Jackie Joyner Kersey Center this Saturday. We'll build a playground, library, and more. For details and to volunteer, visit missioncontinues.org/Summer Service Slam. Here's LaVarnway. Who doubled back in the second inning. He struck out and grounded out. Breaking ball, strike one. Cardinals will have Hayward, Borges, and Piscotty due up. Still on their bench, Mark Reynolds, Peralta, Molina. Here's the 0-1 by Cishek. Grounder left side, taken there by Carpenter, spins and makes the play. Piscotty stays on the bag. Does not seem to be a challenge here as Piscotty stayed on the bag. Closer look. He sure did. Nice play. First ever Major League start at first base. Piscotty somehow stays on the bag, and Cishek a scoreless debut for the St. Louis Cardinals. It's 3-2. We head to the plan to make it home. And by 4, the official cars and trucks of the Cardinals. Shaden Bell is in Cardinal Glennon, recovering from brain surgery. Doesn't miss a game, and want to make sure and wish Shaden Bell all the best wishes at Cardinal Glennon. Cardinals have Jason Hayward to lead it off against Vizcaíno. The Chevy call to the pen.
Oh, good numbers for him, but we've documented that the bullpen is 14th in the National League in ERA, and they've had quite a few relief losses. So the Cardinals looking for their 27th come from behind victory.
And the first pitch is strike. With 3 lefties, and understanding how Hayward hit lefties a year ago, Braves know better than anyone. Are you surprised that they didn't start the inning with a lefty and then go to the right-handers?
Well, it makes sense, but you know, like you said, Freddie Garcia knows his bullpen, and maybe he feels more comfortable now that you're into the 8th inning. Carry 3, you got to use them.
Look at Freddie Gonzalez. He and his staff with contract extensions.
Yeah, that's a nice gesture. I've always thought Freddie was a good guy. He got a raw deal down in Miami, as he and the owner didn't see eye to eye in a couple situations. And you get reminded who the boss is, but it worked out well because when Bobby Cox retired, and Freddie had been on Bobby Cox's staff, you know, it was a good fit for him here.
Hit the other way and taken there by Garcia. Nice play near the line, and Hayward retired, almost bumping into his best friend. That's Freddie Freeman down at first base. Those two very, very close.
Or you saw the double that Hayward got to left field, but they had the third baseman guarding the line, and it paid off there. A lot of times you only guard one side, the pull side.
The starter today, Matt Whistler, with 7 innings, walked 3, 1 was intentional, struck out 3, gave up 2 runs, 7 hits. Here's Peter Borges. This was the spot occupied by Grichuk. Stephen Piscotty is on deck.
Borges been swinging the bat a little bit better in the second half.
This is the second time, though, in this homestand where Mike Matheny's had a chance to double switch with Borges and hasn't done that. Eventually his spot comes up. The pitch at 97, 1-2.
The way I could kind of think about that is that, you know, he knew that wherever he brought in that bullpen, multiple guys that were going to finish that inning.
Popped up. Second baseman wants it. Peterson. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals.
Scotty is 2 for 3 today. He's gotten his first major league hit, his first extra base hit, RBI. How about a first home run? Oh, and by the way, the intrigue about the shoes of
you going back
Mr.
to this?
Cishek? Yeah, I had to investigate this. It's back to the Cardinals and Rip Rowland, the outstanding Cardinal equipment man, was a little concerned that he could find a shoe big enough to fit Mr. Cishek that was red, you know. And obviously they came up with
Pitch taken low, and Piscotty draws a 2-out walk. And the batter will be Tony Cruz. So the tying run is aboard. go-ahead run comes to the plate. Cruz has not homered this year.
Mike Matheny going to allow Tony to have a shot right here. He's 0 for 3. We'll have Molina, Reynolds, Peralta on the bench. Firepower.
Peralta has moved to the on-deck circle. If Cruz makes the out here, you'd still stick with Cosma defensively at short, then have Peralta lead it off next inning. Last home run for Tony Cruz was last September against Cincinnati. We'll see the Reds here tomorrow. 2 outs, runner at first. No balls, 1 strike on Tony Cruz. He's hitless today in 3 plate appearances. Always a fan favorite, the wave here at the ballpark. Well, I never hear from fans that say anything bad about the wave. They just love it. Here's the 0-2. And the ball scoots away. Piscotty reads it. In scoring position at second base.
The first is you don't want to walk anybody. And then after you walk somebody, you don't want to wild pitch them into scoring position. So they're trying to do everything they can to help the Cardinals. A little awkward slide right there. Appears he's all right. Mentioned Tony, and he doesn't get a lot of opportunities to play. He's come through in the clutch.
Big gap in left center and a 1-2 pitch to Tony Cruz.
Tony is batting .400 in close and late games, 6 for 15. He has game-winning RBIs in 3 of his last 4 games with an RBI. And the Cardinals are 4-5 in his starts this year. Just his 10th start of the year.
It's another 1-2 pitch. On its way. Blew it by him in 97. Cruz 0 for 4 sends us to the 9th. Braves on top, trying to salvage 1 game in this series. We move ahead to the ninth inning. Miguel Sokolovich, our Chevy, called to the pen. And this will be his 19th appearance. Very good numbers for Miguel this year.
He's done an outstanding job. This is the 19th appearance, like you said. Opponents are hitting .205 against him. He's coming into this one-run game. He has 4 wins. Remember, his first 2 appearances this year, he ended up being the winner in relief. So maybe he'll be the good luck charm for this one. Daniel Castro was a pinch hitter.
So the first pitch to Castro. Changeup taken low. And we'll see Peterson and Maben. Next time we see the Atlanta Braves, it'll be the final series of the year. Regular season will end in early October. Then the playoffs will be here. Just over 60 games left on the regular season schedule for the Cardinals.
Second stint with the Atlanta Braves for Castro. He's 1 for 1. Should retire. 1,000 batting average. Hit 300 combined between AA and AAA this year.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. That changeup, boy, when he's got it going, is very, very tough.
He's got a decent slider too. You know, one goes one way, the other one goes the other way, and then he's pretty good at spotting his fastball.
Johnson getting loose in the Braves pen. Sokolovich with the strikeout. That's how we start the top of the ninth.
See, fastball right there at the top of the zone. Big swing for a little guy. Well, it's going to be a tough, maybe not even a fair decision, but on Tuesday you probably have to make the roster. Bring Garcia. Everybody in the pitching staff, relief corps, everybody's doing such a good job. Tim Cooney got his first major league win and gets the news he gets sent down, but he took it the right way. And he is very much on the Cardinals' mind if they need a replacement.
There's Jace Peterson. I'm sure one of the questions that Mike Matheny will be asked if this score remains the same, how much thought went into pinch hitting for Tony Cruz in that 8th inning.
Thought about that too.
Sometimes you talk to managers and they say, look, barring an 18-inning game where I have to use this player, it is truly his day off.
Yeah, and you know, that was the unfair thing last Sunday. You know, when you had Carpenter and Hayward and Holiday all getting days off, and you go 18 innings, and then you kind of bring guys up in key spots when they're trying to just have a mental day off. But it's also too when you get your 29 games over 500 and you want to send a very positive message to Tony Cruz and saying, Tony, we believe that you have the ability. You're going to win this game for us. Didn't happen, but you know, all the positives of getting a start, you know, kind of go down the drain when you get pinch hit for it at a crucial point.
3-1 pitch on a hop to second baseman Colt Wong. The Cardinals available on their bench: Molina, Peralta, and Reynolds. You'll see 2 of the 3 coming up. You would have to assume Kozma, Sokolovich, and Wong are due up for St. Louis, looking at to the bottom of the ninth. We shall see. Two outs, nobody on. Cameron Maben. Maben with an RBI back in the second inning. He's grounded out to short twice and struck out. Phillies now with an 11-4 lead over the Chicago Cubs. That's in the bottom of the 8th. Pittsburgh has already posted a victory. Here's a 2-0. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pat Paris, Ricky Horton, Jim Hayes will have the post-game show for you. Take you inside the Cardinals clubhouse. Up the middle, Sokolovich lost his glove, and Wong loses the baseball. A 2-out base hit.
His momentum carries in the first, so he tries to go behind the back and snare that ball, loses his glove, and then Wong couldn't complete the play. Tough play. Maben runs well and gets an should be an infield single. They give him an error on that.
No. Error on Cishek and an error on
yes, you're right.
Cosma. Here's Nick Markakis. So infield hit for Maben. Markakis is reached on an error by Pete Cosma. Fly to center, popped out to third, and singled off of Randy Choate. Strike 1. Here's an 0-1 pitch. Runner is going. Throw by Cruz to second, not in time. Stolen base for Maben. That's his 17th.
Becoming the player this year that people thought he was going to be a couple of years ago. $17 out of 21 successful steals. It's a big insurance run for them out there.
Markakis with 32 driven in this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a fly ball lifted into shallow right. There's Hayward. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Cosma, Sokolovich, Wong due up. We'll see the big bats coming up off the bench. pinch hitter.
Johnson signed with the Atlanta Braves one-year contract. He really struggled last year between Oakland and Detroit. Yachty will be the first to hit for Cosma. There's a big crowd excited about that. Johnson a couple of years ago, 2012 and 13, he had 51 saves in 2012, 50 in 2013. Got 124 career saves, 8 this year, well, 132.
Some of this big crowd on their feet. He's been with the Orioles, the A's, Detroit, now Atlanta. And Yadier Molina's your pinch hitter. Johnny Peralta's moved to the on-deck circle. Some late inning magic left in this game. We'll find out here.
Jason Grilli was the closer, and then he went down. He's out for the year after 24 saves, and Johnson has taken over. He has 8 saves this year and worked that count, 3-1.
A 3-1 pitch to Molina. Now 3-2. Spoiled by Molina. May have been a ball, but close enough. He's got to protect. A broken bat, slowly hit, right side. One away. Here's Johnny Peralta.
Peralta is 2 for 8 when facing Johnson. Mark Reynolds, another option on the bench. He's 1 for 1.
First pitch, a strike, a breaking ball from Johnson. On the air tomorrow, 6:30. The Reds will be in town. And a ground ball that's hit to short. 2 away. Final hold, Colton Wong. It's a Sunday. It's late. That usually is his time to shine. We'll see. Matt Whistler is our Budweiser player of the game. The 22-year-old, a chance to pick up a victory here against St. Louis.
Far we pretty much have only seen fastballs and curveballs from Johnson. .6'6". Maybe a fastball away.
Wong with a ground ball up the middle. Base hit. Cardinals are still alive.
Three-hit day for Colton Wong. He
scored hit into right. He had the double into right, scored in the 5th, and now this single here in the 9th.
Just had enough to get by Peterson. Slowed it up a little bit, and you thought about Colton. He thought about going around the bag well, but then realized he couldn't make it. Andy Fletcher, see him cleaning his face out or something like this, but see the piece of turf comes up and hits Andy Fletcher right in the face, and then he tries to get in position in case there was a play. Oh, Andy, you're gonna have to take a shower now.
Here is Carpenter. Tying run at first. Winning run comes to the plate. 3-2 Atlanta here in the bottom of the 9th. Carpenter has walked. He is 0 for 3. Wong with 11 steals on the year.
Notice most of the time one is going to fastball, but the way they're doing it, that's going to be the fastball. One is a curveball. So this is a fastball coming here.
2-0.
The Cardinals have that little magic, no walk-off home runs. Well, if you don't have any, it's time for Carpenter to get one. He's got 10 home runs on the year. Another fastball.
Holiday on deck if Carpenter can extend the ball game.
The more pitches Carpenter sees, the more he dials it in, gets ready for it. Fastball.
2-1 pitch. That's just not Matt Carpenter. That's not the kind of swing you normally see on 2-1.
Nope, not at all. He's guessing curveball, but we know he's a good two-strike hitter. All the way down to the last pitch or so. Another fastball.
Carpenter skies one into center. Wong hustling still, and the catch is made. The Cardinals, it's only their 13th loss at Busch Stadium this year. The Braves hold on. They salvage a game. 3-2 our final.
Had the Sunday lineup out there. They were very competitive. They lose by 1 run, but you got some guys some rest, and hopefully that'll pay off with the series starting tomorrow night against Cincinnati.
It was Garcia's home run in the 6th off of Michael Wacha. Just out of reach of Hayward. Proves to be a game winner.